Day 23 of 180. I'm currently a senior in high school and I have 180 days until graduation. And my true dream and my true gift from God is to do YouTube full time with inspiring messages, gym content, and much more. It's day 23 and I have a special speech. This is a speech I've been wanting to talk about, and I feel like today, more than ever, it's probably the time to talk about it. It's going to be more of a sensitive, deep topic because, as always, I try to be a real human being on this channel, because I know, guys, in this world there are so many fake fucking people and no one's real anymore. And today I'm going to talk to you about how God changed and saved my life. And this is not going to be a generic story. It's going to be real, bro. And I'm going to talk to you guys about how God saved my life and how he could save yours as well. Where do we begin? So, growing up, I was raised in a Catholic household. And in all seriousness, I was never really forced to truly have a relationship with God. You know, I feel like the community I was in and the people, you know, who I was surrounded with were, you know, they really never... How do I say this? I'm not trying to say it in a wrong way and, you know, not be disrespectful, but like, all I'm trying to say is no one knew who God really was. Does that make sense? And I feel like until recently, God changed my life. I was growing up and I always, you know, did my prayers before bed and I said, God, I love you, and, you know, blah, 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 passed out, woke up, did not think about God for the entire day until bed, prayed, went to bed, fell asleep. And that was my life for a long, long time. And, you know, during that time, I really never had peace in my life. Does that make sense, right? Because I never knew God. I never knew who he was. I just did my prayers because I felt like I was obligated, and went to bed and then woke up, forgot about him. I went to church on Sundays, did my prayers, forgot about him the rest of the week. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to a quote that I made on this channel, which was, you know, God is not a formula but a relationship. And I'll explain that more as we go on. But growing up, I was an insecure kid. I really, really was. I didn't have, you know, a lot of friends growing up. A lot of my friends, you know, left me, not in like a bad way, but they just moved on. And, you know, the younger years of my life were very hard because I used to get picked on and bullied, and I didn't know how to defend myself. And I just, you know, took it. And it was hard because, you know, I felt like, damn, bro, no one has respect anymore, like type shit. And I was younger back then, so I didn't think that, but you know what I'm saying, right? And so growing up, I was, you know, told to fight back, do this, do that. And to some extent, that is true, but there's also this thing in me, you know, I'm just this innocent guy, bro. I really am, I am a really respectful person. Like, you can beat me up 100 times and I'll still forgive you. And that's sort of, you know, how I am still today. And I've learned one thing, right, is the way that God created you is the way that God created you. You can't really get out of that body. You can't really get out of that mindset. So that's one thing about me as well. But growing up, you know, I never could truly stick up for myself because I just couldn't. And obviously growing up, that has changed. I learned confidence, etc. But, you know, all I'm saying is, like, I felt a little bit lost in the earlier years of my life. And I feel like more recently, 2 years ago, God has really impacted me. God has shown himself to me. And everyone's going to have this stage. I really do believe that. Everyone's going to have this stage in their life where everyone meets and sees God for who he really is. It started with a preacher who I found. And after listening to many of these seminars, I've learned that, wow, that's really interesting. I was learning who God was, and I was learning his traits, his characteristics, his, you know, his values and his morals. And I've learned many things, and going back 2 to 3 years ago, when I started listening to seminars, and then I started, and this is one thing that's changed my life. And if you want to have God be in your life, if you really want him to change your life, this is the one thing that I can recommend. It's to go in a room, close the lights, shut off all sound, be silent, and talk to God like a human being. And that was a thing that changed my life. Because not anymore am I praying to God before bed and passing out and just feeling obligated to do it, but now I get to talk to God as a human being. Do you know what that means? That means I can talk to God about my feelings, how I'm feeling that day, what went wrong, what went good, my future, my dreams, my upsets, everything. I can talk to God, and you know one really cool thing about talking to God, guys, is that he knows everything. So you don't need to feel fear to talk about what happened, right? If you had something really, really bad happen in your life and you don't want to tell anyone else about it, you could talk to God about it. And the great thing, he already knows. You don't have to explain it to him. You could just talk to him about it. And, it was so, I don't know, it hit, guys. It really did hit me. It fulfilled my soul to know that I can actually talk to God, that I can be a human being, and that I had this fulfillment in my soul that you cannot explain it. You can't explain it. That I'm in God's hands. It's the beautifulest, that's not even a word, but that's the thing, you can't describe it, guys. Like, it's priceless. I love the 3 words, in God's hands. It makes your heart happy, because you know what that means? That means whatever happens in my life, today, tomorrow, moving on with my future, regarding anything that happens around my life, I'm in God's hands. It's all part of God's plan, and he is there with me. He's here with me right now. I have that much faith in my life. And of course, you're going to go through tribulations. You're going to go through hard times. You're going to go through stress. You're going to go through a breakup. You're going to go through, this and that. And that's part of life. And that's one thing I can't answer. Neither no one can else. But there's one thing that you can, guys, is that you can be in God's hands and feel loved. And what's really, really funny, and I'm not going to go too deep into this because this is not really my say of talking about it, but the amount of people in which I have shown God to is kind of astonishing. And I've changed so many lives in real life. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing online. I'm hoping I'm changing lives, but in real life, man, I've touched a few souls. And I fucking saved a few. And now they have God in their life and they feel better than ever. And I sort of told them what I'm telling you guys. And it's the coolest thing in the world, bro. It's the coolest thing in the world. And now, as a senior in high school, when people are really stressed and anxious about their future and this and that, all I could say, guys, is that I'm in God's hands. I really don't need to stress. I really don't need to worry because I know God will take care of me. And especially in the world that we are in today, guys, I think it's not like, of course I'm not forcing any of this. You could do what you want, but all I'm saying is, like, if you give up your life to God, dude, he takes it, guys, and he puts a cushion underneath your soul. That's the best way to say it. And I only preach and I only talk on this channel what God puts in my heart. I only, really say what God wants me to say, because I believe that every single day that I post one of these videos, one person clicks on it that needs to hear this stuff. And life has been really interesting lately, bro. It really has been. Just like with the amount of shit happening and this and that. And, there's a lot of anxious people in my school. And, I'm not here to say that I'm not stressed or anxious, because, choosing your career path is a big issue. And, if they ask me, Joey, how do you have such a positive mindset? Or, Joey, I'm so lost. Can you help me? I tell them this shit. And I tell them that this is how you fucking change your life, bro. It is what it is, man. And I'm hoping that the person who watched this video all the way through, you learned something. And I'm not here to use God's, name as views or anything like that, but I really do believe this when I say that if you watch this video full way through and you're scrolling through a hard time right now and you clicked on this video, I believe God is showing you this for a reason. And to summarize this, if you want God to save you, or you want to know God, turn this video off and go into a dark room. Maybe you're in your room right now. Close the blinds, turn off all sound, lay down on the floor, sit in silence, and say, hello, God. And I'm telling you, God will communicate and God will show you love. And guys, I say this because He changed my life. And that's what helped me. Day 23 of 180, just finished. Boxing, going home, repeating the cycle. And I'm not here to sound upset. I love my life and I love the routine because every single day I get better. And I wish the best for all of you guys. And I'm hoping that this video touched one of you. God bless and have a great day. Peace out.